Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon if you're watching around the world. My name is Rasputin the Afroslav, and of course, today we're gonna finish the chapters of terrible M.Night Shyamalan's movies. I previously reviewed The Lady Water, Lady of the Water, Lady in the Water, and of course, After Earth, which they are movies with good premise, which unfortunately the plot doesn't help much. That's why these movies are terrible. And of course, in this video, we're gonna finally cover up the movie that I always wanted to to give some three ideas that maybe, just maybe, might improve a little bit better the plot of the movie The Happening. So in case you don't know, The Happening, it's one of the worst M. Night Shyamalan's movie. It's really silly, it's really goofy, and it's so bad that it's good. It's really worth to check it out if you if you are love like outbreak movies. It is quite silly, but in my opinion, the premise, it has some good potential, okay, but which unfortunately the plot, it doesn't help much. Now, I picked up some three steps as usual, just like I did previously on After Earth, and I decided to share with you guys the three steps that it might improve a little bit better The Happening if someone will want to make a remake in the future. Because, let's be fair, remakes are absolutely everywhere. Everybody's making remakes, okay? There's gonna be another remake of Escape from New York, which is a cult classic. I highly recommend to you guys to watch it, with Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. He's the one, okay? He's the only one who can play like the Snake Plissken's character, okay? No one else can. It's like Indiana Jones. No one can replace Harrison Ford, okay? Anyway, so without any further ado, let's go straight into the movie makeover of The Happening. Now, the first step is the movie The Happening should be like an outbreak thriller. If in case you already saw the movie Contagion, which is 2011, starring Jude Law, Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kate Winslet, and so many others, it's a movie about the outbreak. Like it's a little bit similar to like the pandemic that we're living right now, the coronavirus. And this movie, when I after I watched this movie, it captivates me a lot, okay? And I was genuinely afraid, okay? So I think in The Happening should be a little bit more like this outbreak thriller, people are actually going into the environment, the dangerous environment, to investigate about the origins of this disease, what is causing, what are the symptoms, how is it transferred, I think it will be a little bit more engaging, and of course, speaking of this disease, in case you already saw The Happening, uh, the way the way that is transferred, it is okay. It's a plant, that affects, like if you have to stay covered, and if you are not covered, you are immediately got shamelized. If in case you don't know what shamelized is, it's basically talking like a robot, like, oh my god, I am Rasputin the Afro. Yeah, that's basically the first symptom of this disease. You don't you started talking nonsense, and later, of course, it insinuates you to commit suicide, against your own will, because of this, toxin. uh, I think, in my opinion, this toxin, this dangerous toxin should have like a pros and cons, or like weak points. For example, if you are like going to cover with with a highly protected mask, maybe it won't affect you. If you are going to go into the dangerous environment, I think it will be like it's gonna bring some more, this outbreak thriller atmosphere, Um, and of course, the second point is make this plant toxin like with steps. For example, every disease, every virus, every fungus, um, or like every single parasite, it has symptoms to the human body. I am not doctor expert, okay, but I understand the basics, okay. Now, of course, it has the symptoms and how it's transferred, and of course the strain of the toxin. Yes, I played so much Plague ENC to know. Now, so yeah, the toxin should have steps. Like, for example, instead of immediately like going into your brain, making you talking nonsense and starting uh, committing you suicide against your own will. Instead, I think it should be like, yes, it's going to affect, like, if depending where the toxin enters, or your nose or your mouth or your ears, or any kind of human body holes, and suddenly you start like scratching, start feeling itchy. This is the step one. Step two, you start like feeling diseases. I mean, you start feeling dizzy, you start feeling headaches, very quickly. And then suddenly you starting your body like being uh burned inside of you. It's so much intense pain that the only relief that you have to make, it's of course take your own life, which is, it's gonna be quite unfortunate, but I think it's gonna make this toxin, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I think this gonna give this toxin a little bit more, dangers, more power. How impactful this toxin actually is. It is actually quite terrifying instead of a goofy. Of course, you can like start making nonsense, because the toxin affects your own brain. Maybe you're gonna feel your brain like melting. So much headache. you know it is, I think in my opinion, it's gonna be a little bit more like terrifying. um and of course, the third step, it's the toxin must be created like inside of a laboratory that they were developing, and of course accidentally have escaped, based on like what happened in the real life. um, let's not deny that the coronavirus was created in a laboratory. Everybody knows it evolved in the laboratory. Humans have evolved it, okay. And if it happened accidentally, I don't know, okay? But I think I think like the toxin managed to escape into the mid-air of the city, accidentally from the laboratory. I think it will be like you're gonna give more like dangerous intensity, that gonna challenge the characters inside of the movie, like fear more, because this toxin you cannot see anywhere, like it is quite terrifying. um so yeah, anyway, that these are my steps for uh if you just in case you want to make like the happening remake in the future. So these are basic three steps, three important steps that you have to make. So, in resumely right here. Number one, the movie should be like an outbreak thriller. People going to investigate. The origin, where it came from, and of course how the disease is transferred. What are the weaknesses? What are the strongest points, and so on, so on. Now, of course, the second step, of course, is the plant, make a plant like a toxin with steps, as I mentioned again just right now. So, what are the symptoms? What are the steps, like the steps that how evolves inside of the human body? And of course, the third step is very simple, like the toxin was created in the laboratory and escaped accidentally around the urban area or whatever is going to be. Anyway, that's it, folks. I hope it was a little bit informative into the movie plot development. And I wanted to say thank you, everyone. If you are watching this until the end, I highly appreciate it. In the future, I'm gonna make like more videos like this. I'm gonna select more like terrible movies that it has some really really strong premise, but where the plot are very weak. And of course, I wanted to say again, thank you so much if you're subscribing, if you're smashing the like button, of course if you're commenting into the videos. And I want to make an announcement. In the future, I'm developing an animation. Making an animation project. It's still in development, but unfortunately I don't know when exactly is gonna be finished. I'm developing all by myself, from storyboarding, from screenplay, from the keyframes. Is spoiler alert, it's a 2D animation, it's not 3D. I didn't master 3D yet animation, okay? So I'm going into the 2D steps. Of course, there are some things that I have to improve in myself into the 2D animation. Of course, I'm not expert. I'm not animation the 2D animation expert, of course. Um, so yeah, pretty soon is gonna be released. And when it's gonna be ready, I'm gonna have an announcement. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.